Here's how you use Canva. Let me share my screen. And what's exciting about Canva is that there are so many new things they're always adding, right? It's exciting for me because I'm like, oh, cool, a new little tool. But it sometimes can get overwhelming for people like, oh, what is all this stuff? So I'm going to try to go over the niftiest little things. And by the time you're using it, like every month, they're going to add something new. You're going to be like, ah, what is this? Don't worry about it. Just do the basic stuff that you need to do. Okay, so when you get to Canva, you're going to log in and it looks a bit like this. We have a pro account, so it is, I'm going to switch over to normal Canva because I want you to just see what a regular personal account looks like because you may
Yeah, I
not
was
have
going to ask
access
you
to
that.
a
Is it
pro one.
free or not?
Huh?
I was going to ask you, is a fee, is it a fee or is it free for the basic? And you just said it,
It's
so.
it's free for the basic. There's a basic
Mhm.
free, but what I'll show you what you can how you can tell what's free and what's not free. Because there's going to be little elements of it with the little yellow star here. You see that like little star? Um, any element that has that, it's a paid pro kind of thing, right? But those of you who are part of nonprofit organizations, Canva is free for nonprofit organizations, the pro Canva. So if you are with a nonprofit, you can sign up for their pro account for free. Okay. And then you can always just switch between your personal and your pro. So I'm going to be doing personal so that this is what you will see as well. Okay. As someone with a free account. Okay. So here it is. You're in Canva. Ah, there's so much stuff. What do you do? So the easiest way to just get started, right, is to hit create a design. And all of this pops up. And it's just like you have all of these basic options, really self-explanatory. Do you want to make a doc? Do you want to make a presentation, a business card, right? A social media post? We'll start with a social media post because that is really a common thing. It's something you can share on WhatsApp. It's just like the basic little thing. So we'll just go with social media post. Okay. And you can write what kind of social media post you want to create. So let's say we want to create a birthday card, or, we'll say birthday card, or we'll say we're having an event. So I'm having an event and I want to create a flyer for a potluck, right? Potluck flyer. Oh, wait, I have to pick the size. We're going to go with regular flyer size then. So when you go to the templates right here, it has templates and you can actually search, like I said, um, what is it called? Potluck flyer, right? We're going to say potluck. And all these templates for a potluck pop up. So we pick the size that we want to create. It makes us like a blank page. And then we say we want a potluck kind of thing. And it shows you all these potluck things. And then you can go into the filter and you can pick different colors that you want. So say I want something that has like fall colors in it. So orangey kind of things, right? Um, so these are like orange ones. If you don't want the filter because you're just like, well, this is like, I want all the options, then you can go ahead and cancel that. And all the different little potluck things will show up. Okay. So let me get the color off. Okay, back to potluck. Okay, so we're just going to pick one. Let's pick this guy right here. Okay. Oh, see, is not a free one. Sorry, guys. So you see it has pro and pro written on there. So we don't want pro, we want free. This one is free. Okay. So it makes this thing for you. It just looks like a generic flyer. And you know, okay, well, let me just update the time and all the stuff, right? So you can go on here and just type whatever you want. It's gonna be 6 o'clock PM and the address is 2813 South Hiawassee, right? So you do all the stuff here. And then each of these things is an individual element. You're like, oh, okay, hold on. My potluck isn't going to be really turkey and pumpkins. My potluck is going to be like I don't eat turkey and pumpkins. We want a different kind of potluck, more like a barbecue kind of thing. So you go to elements. And the elements is where you can find all the things that you want to add, right? And these are, there's so many things here. You can add shapes, you can add graphics, you can add stickers, photos, videos, all of these things you can add to your design, right? So say I don't want pumpkins. You know what? I'm going to start from a blank design because I feel like I would rather have a blank canvas to show you. So let me just make everything clear. Hold on. Delete it. So I picked the background color. What background color do you ladies want? Let's see. What's a good background color? We're gonna go with blue, purple. You know I'm a purple girl. So you pick the background first. You start with a blank page, you pick a background. You can actually um, add pictures to your background or anything, but say we just want a plain a blank canvas right here. Okay. So now you can add the elements. So what do we want to add? We want to add, we can add different pictures. We can add all of the videos. We can even add different text. So when you're adding text, it actually gives you combos, right, of text. So say if you want your potluck, um, you can add this text right here and you can say family potluck. Okay, so you added your family potluck, your little title in the middle, and then you can think about the different elements that you want in it. So you go here and you're like, well, my family really likes Indian food, right? So you just search when you're in elements, you search. And all of the Indian food stuff is going to pop up. You're going to see photos, you're going to see videos, frames, everything. So you go to the graphics and you think about, okay, we're going to have some samosas at my party. And you put little samosas here. You can have gulab jamuns at your party. You put the gulab jamuns. Oh gosh, this gulab jamun is giant. Right? So you can add whatever you want. And the really cool thing is that it'll give you little guides. You see the little pink line? It'll tell you where, you can put it. Again, you see over here, this one, it has the little Canva watermark. That means that it's a paid one. So again, when you're looking, look for the things that are not, that don't have that little, this little symbol right here that says pro. Okay. That purple background looks absolutely ridiculous. So you click on the page and you can go up here and change the background color to something a little bit more tame than that. And you can also go and update the size of these different things. Right? Sorry. You can change the color of the text. So before on purple, the blue looked fine, but on this it looks ridiculous. So you click on the text and then you go up here. You see this toolbar right on top? This toolbar will, for each individual element, you'll have a little toolbar, and those are all the things you can do for that element. Okay, so say we're here on the text and we want to change the color of the text. This right here is text color. So you can go in here and pick. And what it does is it'll show you colors that are in some of the graphics that you chose. So in this little gulab jamun picture, it has all these colors. I'm like, oh, I like this, dark brown. Let's go with that as a color, right? Then it makes it all kind of come together because it kind of picks all the colors that are already part of your design. Okay, and then you can pick another one that's a little bit different, but still kind of with that theme. Got it? So you just do that. You can make family potluck and then you can add different lines of text. So you can add just the add a text box and you can make it bigger by, you see how tiny it added it? So you see that little round circle there? You can just stretch that and make it as big as you want. Okay, and again, these grid lines are going to come to help you just, keep it in the middle. So you see all the line shows up when it's in the very center. So if we want it in the center of the page, that line is going to show up and we can center it, right? And over here, we'll add the date. So it'll be November 28th or 29th. Keep it on Friday. Okay. And you can update that whenever you want. So when you go here and you don't like the font, then again, this top toolbar right here, the small toolbar, you can click on the font and actually pick a different one. Okay, it'll recommend fonts to you, but you can also search fonts. So if you want a calligraphy kind of style, you can search for calligraphy and it'll give you those kinds of fonts. Okay, if you want more of like block letters, you can look for block letters and it'll give you some bigger, fonts. So you can pick the font that you want. Another really cool thing that you can do with each of these elements, right? When you click the text that you just typed, you can pick the font, you can pick the size, right? You can make it bigger, smaller. You can pick the color. And then these things are self-explanatory, right? You want to center it, whatever you want to do, you can do that. Another thing that you should keep in mind that it automatically, so say if I'm going to put my address, 20. You see how big that is? Like it puts so much space in between every line and you want to change the spacing. Make sure you do that. Like a lot of times what I'll see is people just kind of like use that, but don't because that is so spread out and a waste of space. So you go in here and it always kind of starts at 1.4, but you want to always make it a little bit less. 1.1, single space is fine for some of these things. But you can also space out the letters. So these are really close together. You can move the letters so that they're a little bit further apart, easier to read, right? I'm gonna change this font because, on an invitation, that big blocky font is not necessarily what you need on the time and the place. It's good for the title of the event, but not necessarily for just the regular, invite wording. This is a nice simpler one. Just make it a little bit smaller and just click on it and you can move it. Okay. So we have these basic things. Another thing that you can do once you have, if you click on the text, so you center it, you can put bullet points, the spacing I showed you. One thing also to keep in mind, don't always try to center. You don't always have to center. Sometimes you can just make things right justified, left justified, right? Right now, these two items are grouped together, you see? And so when you move one, the other one moves. But it's fine for centered, but it's not working when you want it kind of all on the left. So you click on it and you ungroup. So now you can separately move them. And say if you want to align them, make sure that they're always, lined up properly. Keep an eye on those pink lines, okay? And you see now we want to make everything just to the left. And then you see that little line that pops up. So however you want to do it, you can just, for each separate item, you can do that. Another thing you can do is when you click all of them, right? You select all of them together. You can go on here and click on position. And say you just want to center everything. Then you click on center and it'll center all of the individual items, right? And then you can go in and actually, we're going to go back to the center for now. It's just easier to work with. Okay, so any questions about the text? One more thing about the text. When you go to effects, you can go in here and change the actual effect of each line. So with this right now, it's glow. And glow is really nice because it makes it kind of pop without adding that really bulky shadow. So, sorry, I'm trying to, my little, let me zoom in for you. So when you're on here and you go to the effects, this is without glow and this is with glow. So it's a little bit standing out. You can also have a shadow, but I'm not a huge fan of shadow all the time. Glow is nice. It makes it pop. Okay. So they had already had them glowing. This one's not glowing and you can, it just makes them pop. Another thing that you can keep in mind is if you want to um, add a picture, right? And I'll show you to the background. So all of these things, the elements I showed you, right? The different things that you can add. And then the text I showed you. Brand, don't worry about. If you have an organization, brand will come up and it will give you the colors that you have for your organization. So you have it all in one place, but you don't need that for your free account. Uploads is really helpful because say if you want to add a picture of someone, right? So say if I want to do this picture of my baby girl, right? This is when she was really little. But you want her and you don't want that background. You just want to add her. Say if it's her birthday party, let's get rid of the gulab jamuns and it's a birthday party for her. You can click on the picture that you've uploaded. You can upload any picture that you want, right? You click upload and it'll get it from your computer. So you click on the picture once you've added it. You can select background remover on the paid things. So I'm going to switch to paid after this, but I'll show you how it works. And you can get rid of all of the background around her, and it'll just be her face, like her head sticking there, her little body without the whole background. And you can do that with any picture. So it's a really nifty tool, but you have to have the pro version. Okay. Another thing is this transparency tool. So say if I want to incorporate this in the background, but I want it just really faint in the background so you can still see the wording. You can put that picture in the background, move it to the very back. And that way, it's kind of like a little background picture that's going on. And it's not super like loud in your face. And you can make it even lighter than that, right? It's just so that the background is not really bland. And another thing you can do is change the actual color of the background. So if I wanted to go back to my like a darker color, then the background is actually the effect is very different, right? And we can make these on a dark background. You always want to have light letters. On a light background, you want to have dark letters. Okay, always keep that in mind because I see so many flyers where the wording, and I know you've seen it, it's really hard to read because sometimes they'll put light colors on a light background or a dark background, and you can't really, tell what's being said because it's dark. We're going to go with the light wording, right? And this can just make it white. So the whole look changes, but make sure you change that um, keep it contrasted. Okay. Any questions so far? I'm so used to using the pro one that I'm just not. Another thing to remember, you can flip things, really self-explanatory things. Just flip it around. You can crop things. So if you add a picture and you just want it not as big, you can just go to crop and you can shrink, move it around. Like I want this much of it, that much of it. I want to, you can go in here and shorten it if you only want part of it showing. You want the bottom of it like just plain and just the wording on the bottom. You can do it like that. So each individual element that you're adding, you can adjust based on this tiny little toolbar up here. Okay. And the effects again are going to be different for the pro and the free, but make sure when you click on anything, check those effects out. Okay, so click on effects and see all the different things you can do with them. Even with the pictures, you can go in and do different things. So, like if the in the picture, if I want to edit it, there's ways to edit the picture. Not all of them are free, but you can go in here and actually edit things. Another thing that sometimes comes in handy is like you can actually even in here add videos and things. But what I wanted to show you is grids. Okay, let me delete this picture for a sec. And get rid of the search element. So you see, I was telling you there's all of these different things. The difference between a graphic and a sticker is that the sticker is moving, right? So the sticker is like all of these, the little arrows that are moving that you see on the different little GIFs, right? All of those are stickers. So it depends really on the vibe you want to create. Is it a serious event? Is it a little bit fun? But if you add a sticker to it that's moving, then it'll save as a GIF, not as like a JPEG or something. So it'll be a little bit of a different thing that you're saving. But I wanted to show you frames. So if I want to add a little frame here, you can pick the shape. There's all kinds of different shapes of frames. You know, there's birdie frames and there's plain frames. You can just pick whichever one you want. There's letter shaped frames. And then you go to the pictures that you have uploaded, and you can just take any picture you want and just drag it into the frame. Okay. So literally dragging different pictures into the frame. You can drag it into the little letter here, or you can drag it into a background. So when you click it, if you're above the background, it'll make it a background picture. Okay. So those pictures that you're uploading, you just have to drag them wherever you want them. Okay. Delete. So say it's her graduation party, and I'm just putting her little picture there. Another element that is not just a frame, and again, the frames are really fun. They're different shapes, they're different. You can have several of them together. If you have this one, I can go back to my uploads, my pictures, and I can have, 3 different daughters in here. You know, there. And then the whole thing is a little, and then you drag it and make it as big as you want. Okay. So you add the frame and any pictures that you have uploaded, you can just drag them right into any frame that you want. Okay. Another cool feature. Yeah, you just did it already. There we go. You go back to elements and it's called grids. So if you have a few pictures that you want to add and you want to make a little collage, then you go to a grid. So there's different little, types. Let's use this guy. So I put it here and it'll fill up the whole background. You can also, you don't have to fill up the background. You can just stretch it, make it whatever shape you want. I just want it on the top. Okay, move the words a little bit lower. And now my grid is up here and I can go back to the pictures that I uploaded and make a whole, okay, you know, I'm going to add the pictures first and then we'll rearrange them a little bit. I'll show you how to do it. You guys are seeing all the pictures of my family. There. Okay, and now you're like, what the heck? People's heads are cut off. So once you have this here, you double click on each individual picture. Okay, so I double click on it and I can scoot it. Okay, I double click on this picture, scoot it a little. Okay. So that way you have a nice little grid, and then you can change the size of it like I did before. Let me move this a little bit lower and you can change the side. I'm like, okay, I want a little bit bigger, and it'll actually adjust the sizes of the pictures along with it. Okay. Make sense? We're good? Okay. And even in here in the grid, you can adjust the spacing. You're like, oh, well, I want a little bit more, space in between. You can do that as well. Okay. You can make it more transparent, like we did with the other picture. You can keep it, you know, full transparency. I mean, no transparency, all of that. And then the position is again forward, backwards, all of those things. We're good? Understanding how to do pictures? Yes. Please feel free to unmute if you.
Can you show me how to get into the grid again? I can't seem to find it on my
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. So when you go to elements, when you initially get there, it'll just be like all the stuff, right? And
Mhm.
just scroll down a little bit and you'll see grids. You'll see frames, you'll see grids.
All right, thank you.
Okay, and then you click on see all and it'll be all the different varieties of grids.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Another thing I wanted to show you while I'm in the elements, I wanted to show you how to use each different element, right? I showed you how to use a frame. I showed you how to just add little graphics, but this one right here is super helpful. I've used this quite a few times, charts. So this is if you're doing something for work or for school or whatever, not everybody's, or even for an organization. Sometimes you have to add a chart. And they have all different kinds. Well, let's use a pie chart. Super simple. And it'll actually create the whole pie chart for you. And you say, okay, item number one. Let's see, my budget, right? Rent. And it is around 50%. I'm literally making this up. And then we have utilities. And they're around 10% of my. And then I have groceries. We'll say 30%. Okay. And it's actually making a whole chart for you. So we're at what, 30, and then we'll do 5% on fun. I'm not a fun person. And then 5% savings. I'm never good at saving either. Ah, I cleared it by mistake, y'all. Undo. Phew. So now I have a little chart. Right? And that was so easy. Like you can literally make a chart on anything. And a lot of times this will be helpful for your kids if you're going to be like a really amazing mom helping your kids with their homework and they need to do some kind of project and a chart, you can actually go in here and make it. And they have all kinds of fancy ones too, but this is a super basic one that's really easy to make. So whichever chart you put in there, you double click on it and all the different things can be on here. You can change it to numbers or percentages. And just here's adjust the data in it, change the font that you're using, all the stuff. Okay. And again, there's different kinds. A hierarchy chart. This is like we have 500 donors that are giving this much money. We have 20 donors that are giving that much money. You can make like a nice visual out of it. Okay. And don't worry about it being so complicated. You don't need to make it super complicated. Keep it simple, and do what you need to with it. But just know that that's there. And another thing you might use is just tables, especially if you're doing this for an organization and for some, it's a work-related thing. Let's say I want to add a table. Just a basic, and I just recently did this for a sponsorship thing. So when you have anything, you see these two little circles down here. One of them moves it and the other one turns it. Okay, just FYI. But it's really easy to just create the table that you want. It's like, oh, well, maybe let me add a column to it. You can add a column. Okay, let me add a row. You can add a row to it. Let me delete this second purple row. You can delete the row. Okay, and then you can just go in here and type. Okay, and then as you're typing, you can update, the font that you're using. Okay, I want the fat font. And you can do all the stuff. So all the things that you were doing on Word, you can actually do on here. You can make all those different little things. So let me, but those are the main ones you're going to be using, right? You're going to use frames a lot to put your pictures in there. You're going to use graphics. You can use photos, right? And these are their stock photos. So they have all kinds of photos, but say you are doing for your Indian wedding, making something, and you just search Indian wedding. Literally, pictures of an Indian wedding are going to come up. And you're like, oh, okay, let me see what some of this decor or this hand thing. And it could just be the background again, how you wanted it. Keep it in the background, position to the back. And now it's a nice little picture in the back. For this table, you want to change the colors, you can. So right here, you can go in here and change the colors of any given cell. You can change the colors of the whole darn table. There's multiple colors on here. You can make them all purple, however you want to do it. Okay. That's flyer making, right? And honestly, when you're going into designs, the best thing to do is just to search one. So it'll give you a ready-made one, but I showed you how to do it from scratch, but say we want to go back to wedding, just make a wedding invitation. It'll give you a bunch of samples. It's always easier to use what they're making rather than to make your own, right? For flyers and stuff, sometimes you have to do your own, but honestly, they have so many pretty options. You can just click that, replace the current page. There you go. And then you just update the wording. It's so easy, right? So I wanted to show you from scratch so you can see what each element can do, but you can honestly just go to design, search what you're looking for and put one in there. If this is the front and you want to make a back page with like some instructions or whatever, you can just add a page. Okay. If you want to keep it the same theme and add different instructions and stuff, and you want to duplicate the page, that's up here. See that? That's duplicate page. All right, if you want to delete the page, you can go here and delete a page. Okay. So making a design pre-designed by them is so much easier. You want to switch it up. Okay, let me just do this style instead. You can try different versions and just use what they are giving you, honestly. It's just so you just go to design, you search what you're looking for, and then say if you do this one, but you're like, oh, this is a paid one. Ugh, everything good is paid, y'all. But you will find free ones, right? So it's just really pretty things, and you can change the fonts, you can change the flowers, you can change whatever you want in here. Each individual thing is a separate element that you can go in and change. Okay. Any questions about flyer making? We're good? Okay. Now, I'm going to show you.
Sadaf,
Yeah,
are the photos copyright free? Like you don't have to worry about it?
you don't have to worry about it. If it's on here, it's copyright free. The ones that are, for example, on here that are the paid things, you may have to pay for, but even if you pay for it or don't pay for it, it doesn't matter. If it's on here, you don't have to worry about copyright. They've already gotten it taken care of. Okay. So we're gonna go back home. So that was just how, making a flyer, but you can also just make a document, right? So you just click on here And instead of Word, you can actually just like write a document. I don't know if Magic Write is a paid feature. It might be. But there's a lot of AI kind of stuff in here, right? So you can just explore that if you want, but there's a whole Magic Write thing where you can just say, okay, I want to make a cover letter for a job at a nonprofit, right? And it'll actually make like the whole thing for you. So this is the cheating way to do things. AI. If you're an AI person, go for it. Okay? But that's what Magic Write is. And I don't mean to call it cheating. It's really amazing. Like you just make a lot and you just copy it and paste it and put it wherever you want. Okay? But a really cool thing. I'm going to stop sharing my screen just for a second because I wanted to show you something. I want to share my whole screen instead of just that one window. Okay. So, if you have ever used a PDF and you're like, someone sent you a PDF and you're like, this sucks. I want it different. I wish I could change it, right? Like sometimes you get a PDF and you just are only able to fill in the blanks, but you can't adjust anything. And Canva added a really cool PDF editor. So you literally like these are my files, right? So I can drag a PDF literally into that Canva screen and just let go, and it will open up my PDF on here. And then I'll show you what you can do with it. I was blown away. Because when you open a PDF just on Adobe, right, you'll see you can't edit anything, right? If it's here, it's here. You can highlight, like you can kind of select it, but you can't move it. You can't change it. It's there. But if you take that same PDF and you open it on Canva, now every single line, hold on, so many things open here. Every single line you can move and you can edit. So say, oh, okay, let me move that thing here. Let me move this up. Okay, let me edit the date on here. This was from last year. I want to make it, I don't have the original document, but I want to make it for next year. You can actually go in and edit a PDF, which I thought like, what the heck? That's amazing, right? So every little element you can move and you can update. So if you're looking over here, you can go in here and actually update little things. You can change the size of things. Right? And this is on a PDF that was here. I can move a picture around. I can change a picture. I can take out an old picture, put in a new picture. But yeah, every piece of it is editable now on Canva, which I think is absolutely incredible. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. So you can just use a PDF you found and you want to adjust it to one of your things, right? You can just upload it on here and do what you want with it. Like this chart was actually a little chart, but you can actually go in here and move every little piece of it. Isn't that cool? Um, okay, so now let me stop sharing my full screen and go back just to that window so you can see it better. Did anyone have any questions about that little piece of magic? I feel like I'm a nerd because I'm so blown away by these kinds of things. I was like, oh, I can edit a PDF, what? And not only edit, you can add, you know, add pages to it and just do whatever the heck you want with it. Um, okay. So what time is it? Oh, it's 12:18. I think with the things, that's the main, um, when you can go on templates and it actually gives you templates for all kinds of things. So you can actually go in here and if you need to make a presentation for work, you can go to presentations and open up a presentation that they have. Again, not a paid one. We're going to go with this guy. Um, this is paid. This is not paid. And when you make a presentation, a really cool thing about Canva, sorry, so when you're presenting, you can actually record yourself presenting and share it with someone. So you don't even need Zoom. Okay. So say if I make my little presentation, with the presentations, you'll see on the bottom, all the different pages, right? And this is really neat. You have a whole presentation about whatever the heck you want. And you can update, again, every single piece of it can be updated. Every little design can be updated. You're like, I don't like pink squiggles. I would rather have pink flowers. You go, pink flowers. And all the pink flowers will pop up, right? And then you're like, okay, let me put these flowers here instead of this weird shape. I'm going to delete the shape and I'm going to put a flower. Right? And once you finish doing whatever you want with it, then you click present and you can actually present and record. Okay, so the little camera will turn on and it will let you record whatever you want with it and you can share that. Speaking of sharing, let me show you how to share. This will be the last thing I show you. So my presentation is ready and I want to either, or my flyer is ready, whatever it is. I want to download it. Let me go to flyers first. Let me open up the flyer we were working on before. So you go to projects. Those are all the things that you've been working on. They're all under projects. We were working on this one right here. And say I want to download this image, right, of the invitation, the beautiful invitation I just copied from Canva. I want to download it. So you click share and it'll give you all these different options you want to download. Okay. The size one, I find it a little bit blurry sometimes, so I try to increase the size a little bit. Oh, you can't increase the size on the free account, guys. I'm sorry. If you have the paid account, you can increase the size. If not, whatever. So you sometimes will have multiple pages. So let me add pages so I can show you how to do something with multiple pages. Okay, so this one is a 3-page kind of thing, right? But you only want the first page because you made 3 different versions and you just want to share that first version. So you download and it says all 3 pages, but you can switch it to just unselect all 3 and pick the page you want to share. Okay, the current page, page 1 is what I want to share, what I want to download. So you selected the page. You have to select what kind of file you want it to be. If you have an invite, you want to do a PNG. If you have a PNG or JPEG, either one. If you have more of a document, you want to do a PDF, right? Or if you have a link on there that you want people to click on, you would do PDF, okay? If you have a whole presentation, you can do PowerPoint, but usually it'll be PNG or JPEG. The difference between the two, they're both different kinds of files, but a lot of times if you're making like a logo or something and you want the background to be transparent, PNGs, you can't do that, but I mean, on JPEGs, you can't necessarily do that. PNGs, you can save them with a transparent background. Okay. Or the PDF again is more for documents or things with links and stuff. You can add a link if you want to. So if you want, say, this right here to be like a link for some reason, then you right click. No, not really. Hold on, let me zoom in. Let me add a link on here. Okay, so that's the link. I highlight it. And there's supposed to be a way to add a link. Why is it not letting me? Oh, here it is. So when you hover over it, you see the little menu that pops up. You can click link and just select where you want it to go. So now when people, only for a PDF, people will be able to click on that link. Okay. A lot of times people will want also like a QR code on their flyer, and Canva, hopefully the paid one will let you, but you see here it says QR code. You click on. So again, it was under apps, QR code, open. And let's say I want a QR code to this really long website, for the Zoom link. Sometimes the Zoom link is super long. You don't want to put the whole darn Zoom link because people are not going to be typing in zoom.com XR259L, whatever. So you can actually put the whole Zoom link in here. So for example, I will grab the Zoom link from this session that we're having. Let me grab it. And then I'm going to drop it in here. So it's like, you see how it's a giant link? Nobody's going to remember. Nobody's going to type that from a flyer. You generate a QR code and pops right there. There you go. You can customize it, change the background color if you want. You can make the little margins out on the outside a little bit bigger. And there's the QR code. Right, and then you want to add on the bottom because people may not realize QR codes are for scanning for some reason. Then you can pick a type of writing. Heading is usually bigger, subheading is a little bit smaller, and you say scan me, and then you shrink it, and then you use that little arrow thingy to move it where you want, or scan me, or you can say RSVP. There, done. You added a QR code. That was easy, right? You just go to apps again, apps, and you go down to the bottom and you select QR code. Okay. So that's how you download one of these when you want to do a presentation, for example. It's the same thing. You just pick for this one if you wanted to download it, you can download it. A lot of times it's easier rather than downloading and sending. If you are making like a little slideshow for people to see, you can actually just get a little public link and it'll create a link for you. So people will be able to so it just sent me the link, right? So when I use just the link, it goes to a view only version. So this is anybody you sent the link to will get to just scroll through the actual design without editing the design. They'll be able to just see it. Cool. Any questions? I went through a lot of stuff, but we talked about flyers. We talked about all the little things, how to add them to a flyer. I showed you how to convert a PDF. You can make a document on here, and you can make presentations and actually record them on here. So, oh my gosh, there's things on the chat that I haven't even been able to see. Any questions? Oh, look at you for y'all. You're talking about AI tools. I am not good with AI and I need to be better. Any other questions? So the feature to edit the PDF, it's not even a feature. You literally drag your PDF into the window and it will show up as a file. So again, I'll show you well, I can't show you because I'm not sharing the whole screen, but you just drag it in. I wonder if there's a way to upload it. I think there might be. Upload a file. There you go. You click upload, and then you can pick the file that you want and upload it. Okay. Is this one showing up? And then it'll just upload the file onto Canva, and then you select the file and you can update it. Okay. One thing I do want to remind you is sometimes when you are making a flyer, for example, we did this a while ago. I encourage you to, is this like an image? Hold on. Sorry. I will go here. So say you have a paragraph that you typed on here, right? So zoom in. Okay. So we want to update the wording on here to say, hi, this is Sada. I love you and you are my same friend and see ya. Okay. So I've seen people have literally one word on a whole line. And that is like my little pet peeve. Just adjust the line so that the word fits on the line before it. Okay. And then center it again. Okay. This is just my little 2 cents for you when you're designing something. Um, later, bye, or just later, like literally one word, and it looks so much nicer when you can have like make it a little smaller and when you have an even amount of words on each line. It's just more appealing to the eye, right? And then just recenter it. Okay, so try not to do just like a random floating word on one line when it could be a whole line. So just adjust the sizing. Don't be scared to play around with sizing and the shapes and stretch things out or decrease the font size or, you know, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Any final questions? It is 12:30. I wanted to keep it to that 1 hour. Did everybody understand something, learn something new? Yes, no. Okay, I see it. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad you learned something. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
It was an amazing training. Thank you so much for facilitating it.
Yeah, it was just information dump, and I hope it was beneficial. So I
It
will,
was. It was. Thank you.
alhamdulillah, I will stop the recording and send you the links, inshallah.